it's very simple analysis, but you think things might have been different if you just kicked a bit straighter early when the game was...
Yeah, I think that's not simple. I think that's fair. I think that's been the games I've watched over the week, and that's happened to a few teams, and you end up on the wrong side of the ledger, and we got beaten badly. I mean, that certainly plays a factor early in the game. And Brisbane, they felt their power build after half-time, and they maximised it.
Marshall's a good kick, and he's almost missed two completely off the boot. Like, what, do you think there's anything...
No, I think
just
a good summary. He's a good kick, but he missed two completely off the side of the boot, which is really unusual for Todd. But it's what happens in games. You take your chances, or you don't take your chances, and they certainly were able to. As I said, 13-3 from stoppage is incredibly accurate, but they did it.
Do you feel like they just settled a little bit more than you in terms of that composure, particularly in the scoring end?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that is fair. I think they did certainly. They looked more composed at times, and they were fueling their own energy by their conversion, and we were taking some of our energy away by our lack of conversion, which that happens in football all the time, I reckon.
In terms of Charlie, is there an indication as yet as to whether he'll be back next week or not?
Yeah, we're building towards him being back and being available. Whether that's exactly next week, we'll work through the week. At this stage, we would say he's in the optimistic basket, but not necessarily in the team.
Trent looked pretty distressed as he came off. Can you tell us?
Rolled his ankle. He's had a number of them this year, unfortunately, and that's what happens when you do an ankle probably early in the year. They can be a repeat offender's ankles, and when you land badly, they can go. I mean, heavily strapped, looked after as best he possibly can, but just what happens.
Look, I'm sure you'll be waiting on a scan, but can you give us any indication of where he's at? Is he
Trent? Yeah, no, badly rolled ankle. We'll take the load off that ankle straight away, so you'll see him on crutches probably, so he shouldn't panic around that, but he'll need every minute of next week to be available, and I think that's reality.
In terms of the timing for you, when you've just lost TJ as well, amazing time.
We were lucky on Thursday, and we're back to unlucky on Saturday night because Tom's done a calf injury and Trent's hurt his ankle. But we'll have to make do with what we have available, and I'm optimistic that that's still strong enough and good enough. I don't think that's a problem. I think as I said tonight, we played well enough to hit the lead in the second quarter up here against a team that hasn't lost on this ground. We put them under some pressure early. We just couldn't sustain it for long enough.
Speaking of unlucky or untimely, the substitution, can you talk us through what happened there?
About 45 seconds after the form was lodged, which once you've lodged the form, you can't change it. We asked that question because Dylan came off with what appears to be a soft hamstring, and he wasn't going back on, so that took one out, and then it ended up being Trent, another defender, and we took Darcy out, who was obviously a defensive option for us. But that's just what happens. Roll the dice.
Red time goals, did you feel like a couple of those really hurt you at the end of the quarter?
Yeah, I think at the second quarter particularly, because we got ourselves back in front, and then they were able to put 3 goals on late in the quarter. So, yeah, look, all goals hurt you, but we like to analyse it to the last minute or the last second of quarters. But the reality was, they kicked a lot.
You sort of touched on it. Sorry, earlier the Giants coming in sort of with nothing to lose, and you've got
who has got nothing to lose?
GWS next week. I guess they're rolling, and you've got a lot going on to sort of get your ducks in a row. Like psychologically, how hard is it to?
No, we'll be okay. We'll be fine. We earned the opportunity to play that game. Worked really hard all year to get that opportunity, and then obviously we would have preferred not to use it, but we now get to use it, and we'll be ready to go, and looking forward to the opportunity to play. We played GWS at Adelaide Oval not that long ago, and we had a nice strong win. So we'll bring the Port crowd, which is nice to have them back on our side, and hopefully they're nice and loud too, and we'll give them a reason to be boisterous and loud.
It's a different position for you though in terms of this last little period. How different is the mindset in terms of attacking?
I'm not quite sure what you mean. So.
Well, 2020-21, you obviously go straight through.
Okay.
This time you're obviously
20 and 21 didn't work, so maybe this is the right way for us. Maybe this is the way for us to go. We've got no choice. We're going that way, and we're going to give it a mighty crack, and we expect to play really well next week and win.
Drew on Neil, what did you make of?
Yeah, I thought we done really well on both their captains, with Andrews and Neil. I thought Ollie Lloyd done a really good job, so some optimism around what Ollie's been able to do. Drew, I thought, completely took Lockie out of the game, which is hard to do, but they had more numbers across the ground, and they were able to have they could share the load better than we were able to share the load.
And what about Burton on Cameron. He was obviously quite early and obviously
I'm not sure he ended up kicking 1 or 2 goals.
came to life in the third, obviously.
Yeah, did he kick 1 or 2? I'm not sure.
2, I think.
2. I mean, that's probably a pass mark on a player like Charlie Cameron, although he missed some, but I think it's a pass mark probably at least. He's a dangerous player. I mean, Joe kicks 5, so that's their depth. I mean, they're a really good team, and so are we, but they were able to make us pay on their home deck.
Just a word on Lord. 4 goals, breakout performance, obviously giving you plenty of food for thought if Charlie does come back.
Yeah, it will be interesting for us to work our way through that. With first of all, we need to find out who's available. Then, secondly, we'll make decisions based on what's the best opportunity to beat GWS next week, and we'll do that as the week unfolds.
And Williams, sorry, in terms of next week?
He'll scan, probably hamstring. I'd imagine. You don't normally leave him out if docs were pretty concerned around a hamstring, so. Because it's a high pressure game and a lot of energy used, we will just hold our powder to declare exactly what it is, but as we always do, we'll be pretty honest once we know.
Okay. Thank you.